Hi everybody. I come to you in truly great humility today. The subject that we're teaching today is Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha being the Shiva nature, the absolute. Prakriti being the relative reality. So we're talking absolute reality, we're talking relative reality. We're talking nothing in the Purusha and something in the Prakriti. And one of Socrates' sayings is, true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. And one of the teachers, I'm not sure who, said there is great power in knowing nothing. And nothing is the absolute. So for many years I thought of the nothing, as Socrates put it, in the wisdom of not knowing nothing, but because you know nothing, you go further into acquiring knowledge. But in that acquiring of knowledge, you acquire that knowledge within the relative realm, the realm of Prakriti, nature, creation, our world that we live in. Purusha is our consciousness. It is the all-encompassing consciousness from which Prakriti comes. So Prakriti comes from Purusha, and Purusha is in Prakriti, but Prakriti is also in Purusha. So the philosophers say that Brahman, or you can call it God, whatever name you want to, breaks into two realities, two truths. The Buddhists call it the two truths. The one truth being the absolute, the Purusha, Shiva, nothing. The other being Prakriti, Shakti, creation, relative reality. Absolute reality, relative reality. We live in both worlds. We tend to live in our relative world far more than we live in our absolute world. And yoga is the bridge that takes us into both worlds. So the whole sole purpose of yoga is to rise Shakti or Prakriti or reality into the absolute Purusha or Shiva. And that's the Kundalini energy that moves up the spine. So as this energy moves up the spine, we learn to come back to the union of oneness. So when we live in relativity, we live in suffering. So the Buddhists talk about the suffering of relativity. And the way to transcend suffering is to realize the Purusha, the absolute. And so it is through the practice of yoga that it gives us tools to help us. Some of the most simple tools is the Yogananda's Kriya technique of drawing the energy up and down the spine. Yogananda always said that this adds soul years to your life. And it is in these soul years that we learn to know nothing. So there is great power in knowing nothing. And I got to really realize this last night in meditation, that nothing is knowing the absolute, is knowing Purusha. It has a twofold meaning. Just as relativity has this dualism, nothing has a dualism. Nothing is also the wanting of more knowledge, but the knowing of nothing. And you will never know nothing completely, but you can go deeper and deeper into nothing. And the deeper and deeper you go into nothing, the deeper and deeper you know your true nature. That is beyond time, beyond space, beyond pain, beyond suffering, beyond this relative world of up and down, good and bad, birth and life. And then I came to realize in my meditations last night the Trayambakam. So I'd like to just chant it if you'll indulge me. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Richor Mrikshya Mamritat. And I realized that the Trayambakam, Lord Shiva, the drawing of the Kundalini energy up the spine, where you bring Shakti to Shiva, or Prakriti to Purusha, or relativity or creation to creator, is the freeing yourself from the bondage. So part of the mantra is the cucumber that severs itself from the vines. And that cucumber is held by those vines. And what are those vines? Those vines are our world of suffering. And so if we can begin to realize the absolute more and more and more, we can then transcend suffering. And that sounds like a huge scope, because there's so many of us that are living today in fear, in worry, in loss, and we're trying to find meaning to our lives. And I saw something that made so much sense about our relative world. So if you're in the desert and you're very thirsty, might see a mirage, and you will believe that there's water in that mirage. And you will believe completely that there's water in that mirage. So our world is that mirage. Our world is that mirage. Our world, our relative, our sufferings, our stories. And today is Lakshmi's birthday. So I'm going to say her mantra, Om Shrim Shrim Lakshmiye Namaha. So Lakshmiye is about creating abundance, creativity, and abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. So if we can have our reality in creating our lives, our world is our perception, our world is how we see it. Our world truly is Maya. It does not exist, but it exists in this relative plane. And that's the difficulty in being a yogi or being a mystic, is to actually marry the two together. You cannot live in the absolute world because you chose to come into this world, but you can bring the absolute world into this world that we live in. And in that way, some call it faith, some call it trust, some call it knowing. And it's that marrying of the two, the union, the Kundalini rising, the union of Shakti to Shiva, creation to creator, that brings us this measure of peace. So we're going to see where our class leads us today in this realization of bringing the two together. And in the realization of realizing the nothing, we transcend the pain. We realize that this is a beautiful play. And in also the Mahanjaya mantra takes us beyond death, into knowing that there's no such thing as death, there's no such thing as birth. It is a continual cycle of life that we are completely in. And we are just players in this game of life. And then we will continue. Our energy goes on forever. So the biggest and the most beautiful force in the universe is love. So for those who have suffered love and loss, you know that that love is totally immortal. It is there with you forever. It can never, ever, ever go. And that love will be forever. And you will always be together. In one form or another, when we lose this form, we do not lose the love. We are together always. And that is a great comfort. A great comfort in knowing that there is a bigger plan out there. And I think when we go into knowing nothing, we go into huge trust and faith. So Gate, 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 Parama Gate, Buddhi Swaha. Beyond, beyond, beyond. Oh, what an awakening. Bring your hands together in prayer at your heart and take some lovely, long, slow, deep breaths into your body. And as you do, find that ball of light at the base of the spine and inhale and draw that beautiful ball of light all the way up your spine, into the third eye, into the crown, and exhale, draw that ball of light back down again. Do this breath with as much sincerity as you possibly can to allow you to open up your central channel of light, to allow you to connect creation to creator, to allow you to realize that within your heart center where your thumbs are pushing, carry on doing the breath as I talk, that as you push your thumbs into that heart center, this is the space where your soul, your Jiva Atman, your part of the Purusha, your part of creator, resides within you. So when you go deep into your heart, you are going into the love, you are going into the absolute. So within you is the absolute. And within you is this union of the absolute with the relative. Creation with creator. There's no more duality, there's oneness. And that's what yoga helps us realize. So taking some lovely long, slow, deep inhales up and equally long, slow, deep inhales down. Just take a moment to feel yourself in the now. We only have the now. So come deeper and deeper into the now. And then bowing your head to your heart. Surrender your thinking mind. Know nothing. Find the wisdom within the nothing as you release all thoughts to just being in this moment in time. Bring your hands onto your knees and inhale, come forward and lift your whole energy up your spine, and exhale, bring it down. So adding soul years to your life is adding years lived in awareness, years lived in connection with yourself. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. And one more time, inhale up and exhale down. And inhale up and bring yourselves forward. Now yoga gives us so many positions to actually explore our relative world. And the forward bends are about coming inward. So as you breathe that breath up and down your spine and you come deeper within yourself, you can find the introspection, you can find the peace. And we need to find that peace in today's life where we are filled with fear, with worry, with loss. When we find the peace, when we find this connection, we find the patience, we allow ourselves the human emotions, but then we allow ourselves to transcend them. And this is the gift. So keep breathing that breath up and down the spine and feel yourself coming into yourself, deep within yourself. And allow yourself to nurture yourself. Allow yourself to find peace within yourself. Allow yourself this practice to really connect with you and find the bigger picture. To find that freedom from suffering, even if it's just for now. Move yourself over to the left, lift your torso up and stretch over your left leg. Now find that space in the right side of your body and really breathe into those intercostals as well. And feel yourself making space in your body, opening up your body to the awareness of the energy moving up and down the spine, to the energy of space within you. Come back through to center, stretch yourselves forward again, and over to the other side as you stretch yourself forward and over your right knee. Breathe deeply into your body and find the space within you. Really begin to sense that nothing, yet it's everything. Freedom. So the deeper we go into trust, to faith, to knowing that we know nothing, but we know the nothing, the more we release ourselves from this bondage of the human story, which we've got to live and we've got to feel. But we can always go beyond it and then come back through and stretch and find that space within you. Bring yourself slowly, slowly up. Sit nice and tall and feel your body as more open, more soft, really lighter. And then bring the soles of your feet together. And you're opening second chakra here, so you're opening into the energy of Lakshmi, into the energy of abundance, of creativity, of manifestation. How do you want to see your world? That's how we manifest our world and come forward. So feel second chakra opening, and as we do these forward bends just to begin, we really go deep within ourselves. And what do we want to see our world as? What do we want to align ourselves with? And that's our freedom of choice. We can align ourselves with the energy of Lakshmi, creativity, joy, abundance, even within the suffering.
And sometimes when we're suffering, we feel bad about being happy because we feel that we should always be in suffering, and that's the duality. We need to come out of the suffering, whatever our losses, whatever our stories, whatever our fears, and move into Purusha, the Absolute. So feel the opening and choose now joy, abundance, happiness, peace. One of the yoga yamas is santosha, contentment. Find that contentment, practice it, because this moving from the physical reality into the awareness of all that you are is what brings us our peace. It also helps, my darlings, in this ascension to the fifth dimension, to the realizing that we are the Purusha. The Purusha and the Prakriti are one. And then slowly, slowly come up and come onto your hands and knees. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders. Inhale into your cat. Lengthen, feel, flatten your feet, and exhale, squeeze and round. Tuck your toes under and push that energy up your spine from the first chakra all the way up, and then as you exhale, bring it back down again. And feel that movement of energy up and down your spine. That's the Kundalini. That's that serpent energy, that movement of energy up and down your spine, which is the entire practice of yoga. Tuck your toes under and go into your first wide-legged down dog. Push your palms into the floor, lift your tushies up into the heavens and feel. Now you've inverted this energy. So it's always good to invert the energy. That's why the inversions in yoga are so important. So feel now as you breathe the energy from the first chakra down. This is not going up now, it's going down into creation, and then as you exhale, you're taking it back up the spine again. So you really want to feel, and I'm using very simple techniques today. I'm not using anything fancy because the concept is so huge and the concept is nothing. So we need to keep the yoga simple. We need to keep the breath with Yogananda's simple Kriya technique, which he said is one of the most powerful. Just this breath up and down the spine, awakening each and every one of your chakras and awakening this flow of energy. Breathe into it, hold it, till down dog does you. You're not doing down dog anymore. Down dog is doing you. Feel that? Drop onto your hands and knees and just hold it there for a moment. Take your left leg and stretch it out. Take your right arm and stretch that out. Now as you do that, guys, realize that you are stretching your body through polarity. You're stretching the right arm and the left leg. Keep the belly nice and firm and use your bandhas. So bandhas are really important. Lift the perineum, lift the belly. So that helps lift that energy up the spine. Breathe into it. Bandhas are locks where we lock the energy inside us. So we lift the perineum like a kegel. We lift the belly, Uddiyana Bandha, and we feel that energy moving again more simply, more easily up and down the spine. We're also transcending here. Take your focus into your third eye and sense and feel your third eye. And then slowly come down. Let into child's pose. Let your right palm be further forward than your left. And feel now that polarity between your right middle finger and your left sit bone. There's an X happening here, and it crosses at the heart. Come back up again and take your right leg out and your left arm. Squeeze your belly, find your bandhas, draw that energy up and down your spine. Your breath is paramount. You find yourself in your breath. The breath is the link between Purusha and Prakriti. The breath is your connection between creator and creation. The breath is your wisdom, your knowing nothing. The breath is your life force. So breathe deeply. That's what yoga, the gift of the practice of yoga is this breath. And these Kriya techniques are breathing techniques, breathing this energy, lifting the energy up the spine and taking it back down again. Release, Let the left hand be slightly further forward than the right and feel the polarity here. So we play in two worlds, always. We play in the absolute and we play in the relative. And we've got to marry the two together to find our own sense of peace. It's what the practice brings. Bring both palms forward now and feel from right middle finger to left sit bone, left middle finger to right sit bone. Now feel your spine. And as you draw that energy up and down your spine, feel your spine lengthening even more. Inhale back up onto your hands and knees and take your down dog once more. Open your feet a little bit wider so they're the width of the mat. You can shorten your stance ever so gently. Breathe into it. Now push into your right palm. Bend your right knee and push into your left foot. So again, we're finding this polarity. This is the relative world that we live in. The worlds of ups and downs, good and bad. The absolute has nothing. The absolute does not have up and down, good and bad, good and evil, right and wrong, sadness and happiness. The absolute has nothing. So feel this polarity and then release. Bend your left knee and push your awareness into your left palm and your right foot. And again, feel this polarity. And then come back to center. Now feel that cross. Right palm, left foot, left palm, right foot. Breathe. This is why inversions in yoga are so important. Release down and come into child's pose and feel. Breathe. Connect. And then slowly come up onto your hands and knees. We come back into polarity in Janusasana. So all of the inward yoga brings us inward in our forward bends and opens us up in our back bends. So we're going to be doing both forward bends and back bends in this practice. So we come into Janusasana. Square your body over your leg. Lift your chest and walk your hands down your leg. Breathe into it. Take your right rib cage and drop it ever so slightly as you lift your left. Now breathe that kriya up and down your spine. Really lengthening, breathing. And so we, with our thoughts, with what we want in our lives, manifest the world as we want to see it. Do you want to see the mirage in the desert? Do you want to see joy? Do you want to see abundance? Do you want to see freedom from suffering? Or do you want to hold on to fear, worry, guilt? All those stories. So that's our choice in our relative world. And it's easy to talk, but that's where the practice helps you. Really helps you to come inward and choose contentment, santosha. Breathe into it, lengthen your spine. You're going to take the left hand to the inside of the leg, the right hand onto the knee. Drop your left shoulder, lift your right shoulder and lift your arm up into the sky and bring it behind your head as if you're pushing your back against a wall behind you and touching your toe. Breathe into, or you might be here, that's fine. Breathe into the whole side of your body. Now here you go. This is the polarity of your right side, your masculine side. Your masculine side that the breath breathes into at this moment in time. So you're feeling the right side, the masculine side. And we're activating it so that we can then come back into oneness. And then slowly come up. Take your hand underneath your knee, bring your knee in and sit. If you're feeling spacey, that's wonderful. I'm kind of wanting you to feel a little spacey today. I'm wanting you to get this concept of nothing. That's why I humbly offer you this class. It really is a huge, huge wisdom to be talking about, and I truly am just a student. And then take the right leg out and bring the left in.
Square yourself over this leg, lift your chest and walk slowly down. Breathe into it, lengthen through the spine. Really feel that sense of lengthening through the spine. Try and find both sit bones because it's going to make you more even. It's not about how far down you come, but it's about breathing that breath up and down the spine. So I'm wanting to add with this Kriya technique used the whole way through the class, soul years. Years lived in awareness. Moments lived in awareness. Our meditations take us there. So today is a moving meditation. A meditation in each pose, an awareness of each pose and its teachings. So here's the polarity. This time you're on your right side with your leg, but then you bring your arm, so your right leg is getting a stretch, but your left side is getting a stretch. So you see, we're bringing together even here. So we're stretching the left side, the feminine side, but it's over the right leg. So feel how the poses do you in bringing awareness as you go deeper into them. Always say that we do not do yoga, yoga does us. And in this doing, it brings us such knowing. We don't know how we know, but we just know. And that's the beauty. That's where Socrates says. And that's the true wisdom in knowing nothing. And then very slowly up you come. Help yourself again and bring your knee in. Sit nice and tall. Feel, guys. Feel. Feel the sense of openness in your body. Feel the sense of the awareness of this energy up and down your spine. Breathe. I'm going to come into a twist, which is very powerful in your polarity of reality. So bring your right foot to your outside, your left foot over. Sit nice and tall. Lift yourselves up. Take your left arm up into the sky and bring it behind you. Now before we twist, feel the whole right side of your body. And you have two major meridians, Pingala and Ida. And you're going to twist Pingala now in like a serpent across each chakra. So big inhale with your right arm and twist. Lift your spine nice and tall. And now feel Pingala starting at the right and spiraling itself around as it crosses each chakra. Really tuning you into the masculine, this duality. As you twist, they say twisting unravels the brain. As you twist and you look over your back shoulder, you can keep your eyes closed and then you can begin to feel the chakras in your spine, and as you squeeze them, this is awareness of lifting that energy up and down the spine. So the medical caduceus of the two serpents crossing each other and then the staff. So in yoga it's the two serpents and the two energies and then the serpent lifting itself up. Breathe, feel, sense. So Hippocrates knew, he had an awareness of this duality, of this oneness, of the integration of the body. And then slowly come forward, hold for a moment. And we're going to bring knee over knee in Gomukhasana. And we're going to open up this first chakra, which is where the Prakriti or Shakti or relativity lives in your earth chakra. So see how the practice of yoga is playing continuously all the time. And the soul years is the awareness of what it's doing. Inhale, lift yourselves up, and exhale, come forward. Now as you hear, just breathe in contentment. Breathe in abundance. Breathe in peace. Because this is the absolute. You are. Breathe in happiness. Choose to align yourself. Despite whatever's happening in your life, choose to see the bigger picture. And totally now, breathe the breath up and down the spine again, feeling that length. And then very very slowly come up, release and change the cross. So bring your left foot and bring your right foot over. Find your 2 sit bones, sit up nice and tall, take your right hand behind you. Now feel the whole left side, so you're going to spiral this left side up. Big inhale, and as you exhale, you begin at the left and you go to the right and you cross it each chakra, all of them, as you go all the way up the spine, and then you feel the breath, the Sushumna Nadi, where you've been breathing up and down, that Kundalini, that serpent energy, transcending and breathing up and down as the cross happens. Now you can feel Ida crossing Pingala. So here is those 2 beautiful spirals, your DNA spirals, life spirals. Life is a spiral of this duality, this relativity, this relative reality, and bringing the relative reality into the knowingness and the nothing of the absolute. Breathe. And then slowly come forward. Sit nice and tall. Bring knee over knee. Find your 2 sit bones. Lift your chest and over you come. Choose contentment. Choose it. Because your essence, your immortal self that transcends physicality is pure joy. Pure joy, samadhi, bliss. Death is called Mahasamadhi, the greatest bliss. And it's not death itself that is the problem. It is our fear of death that's the problem. Death is a total beautiful release back into Purusha, back into consciousness, awareness. So Mahasamadhi, pure, pure bliss. And then slowly, slowly come up. Release. Bring yourselves back again onto your hands and knees. Inhale into your cat and exhale, push back into another day, another dog. Hold it here. We're keeping it simple today. We are going to do a standing pose now. So if you can bring your left foot forward between your hands. Flatten your back foot like you're on a balance beam. We're coming into triangle. Release the right hand and cartwheel yourselves up into triangle. Now in triangle, find that breath up and down the spine again. Stretch your arms out. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, release and lift up. So triangle is a very powerful pose. It's a pose where we basically use every little cell of our body, we open it up. We also have this awareness of the 3 triangles, one in between our legs and our actual shape being that of a triangle. Push your back against an imaginary wall. Now breathe into it, use your bandhas, lift the perineum, lift the belly, and breathe the spine long. So it's how do we inhabit our relative reality, our prakriti? How do we balance our prakriti? How do we balance our nature? How do we bring our soul into our nature? That's what this says. It's soul and nature. So how do we bring our soul into this 3-dimensional world that we live in? Mind, body, soul. How do we connect it? Through this practice. So feel the pose, let it do you. Totally immerse yourself in it. Breathe into it. Hold it, go deeper and deeper into it. If your neck allows you, you look up, otherwise you look forward. Feel yourself opening your body to new awareness, to nothing, but to everything. Slowly bring the palm down, bend your back knee and stretch back into your down dog and feel if there's been a shift in your down dog. Hold down dog.
Bring your right foot forward between your hands. Again, put yourself on that balance beam. Take your left hand this time and cartwheel yourself up. Your stance should be at least the length of your leg. So you can make a nice wide stance or stance, depends which country you come from. I'm confused. Open. Inhale, come forward. And exhale down into Trikonasana, called three-dimensional world that you inhabit. So the more awareness you inhabit this world with, the more freedom from suffering. Like the cucumber that gets severed from the vine. Don't let the suffering rule your life. Find your freedom. Find your knowing. You're going to suffer. That's the human condition. But you can allow yourself transcendence from it. It won't be all the time, but it will give you enough space to find peace, loving, joy. So we have to marry our two worlds. Breathe out that Yogananda's technique, his Kriya, up and down your spine. Find this beautiful awareness, this beautiful opening. And then slowly release, come down. And again, it's a class of down dogs where we invert ourselves completely. Breathe into it. I'm going to do the same side again for warrior, just because of facing the camera. So flattening your left foot, bring your right foot forward. We're going to do warrior 2. Bend your front knee and come up. So our practice gives us strength. And warrior is a pose of incredible strength. It's about owning the power within you. The power is Purusha. You are, if Purusha is the ocean and Prakriti is the drop in the ocean, you are the drop, you are the ocean is you. So find that sense of owning and being strong. Let your Prakriti be strong. Let your nature be strong. Look out over your right fingers and have that beautiful sense of gazing and choosing to see beautiful mirages. Because our reality is in what we observe. And you can take 5 people and they can all observe the same scene and see it differently. So it's really the observer that observes. That is the world of relativity. That's why I humbly offered this class. It's a bit of a mind craziness. I wanted to use a bad word, but I won't because I'm on YouTube. But you all know what I'm thinking. Sure, to marry it. And I promise you, it's like, last night when I was meditating, I felt like I was on some kind of psychedelic medication, but medicine. But no, this is no medicines, no nothing. This is pure just tuning into the awareness of nothing. So meditation takes you there. You don't need anything to get there, just your willingness into reality, and to transcend it. Big inhale, exhale, come down, take it back into your down dog. Hold it and feel your down dog. Beautiful. Bring your left, flatten your right foot, bring your left foot forward. You're again standing on a balance beam, my loves. Bring that foot all the way forward, so you want a wide stance. And then cartwheeling your right arm, up you come, and breathe. Stare out over your front fingertips. So we're moving with incredible stillness. We're holding poses for a long time. We're wanting to feel the energy moving up and down the spine. We're wanting to feel the awareness of strength that the pose gives us, the courage.
we can feel the fifth dimensional reality that everybody's talking about, the transcendence of the earth moving into the fifth dimensional reality from our three-dimensional space. And the way to do that is with love, with willingness, with willpower, with courage, with determination, and with knowing, with wisdom. And wisdom comes in knowing the nothing, in knowing and diving deep into the Purusha, into the very essence of your being. Big inhale, exhale, come down, tuck your back to under, and push back into your down dog. We're going to hold it here again, and I want you to feel the polarity between your right palm and your left heel, and your left palm and your right heel. And then feel the spine, feel that cross happening at the heart center, and then feel that breath going up and down your spine. Alright, drop onto your knees, come down onto your forearms, come down onto your belly. Bring your forearms forward, flatten your feet, curl your tailbone, and lift the whole front of your body up into a Sphinx pose. So feel yourself aligning yourself with the planets. Feel yourself aligning yourself with the influences of the universe. Feel yourself aligning yourself with the far reaches of outer space. And know that that's Prakriti. The whole of creation, how huge is it? The prana, the breath that brings us together, that brings it all, that creates the entire universe, comes from the Purusha. Wow. Feel that expansion and feel your heart opening and feel yourself drawing yourself into that awareness, drawing yourself forward into so much more. And then slowly release down. Bring your hands by your shoulders, elbows in. Really need to use bandhas here, so curl your tailbone towards your pubic bone, lift the perineum, lift the belly, and come up into cobra. Now if this is too much for your lower back, rather come down into baby cobra. So wherever it feels good. Now again, you rising up. So cobra, which is the kundalini energy, the snake energy, is the rising from the earth, lifting yourself up to face all adversity and to bring yourself into the knowing of your absolute. So it's a really, really powerful pose. And as you breathe that breath up and down the spine, you can feel the kundalini energy moving. Shakti to Shiva. Through all your chakras, into abundance, into joy. Drawing yourself up into the realization of Tat Sat, I am. And then slowly come down again. Turn your head to the side, turn your palms to face up, and just let your heart melt into the earth. Into our beautiful planet. How much is there? We talk about Prakriti and Purusha, but it's so huge, guys. I mean, when you just start to think about it, you realize you know nothing. And that Socrates was quite right in saying that. But also that you have to know nothing to find it. So it's huge. We're going to do another cobra because cobra is the ultimate pose for the kundalini rising. And that's what the ultimate practice of yoga is. Taking you from the relative to the absolute. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, curl your tailbone, and inhale back into cobra. Or if it's too much for you, back into Sphinx. Just as long as you've got the back bend, the heart opening. And so this energy lifting up, lifting from the earth into the heavens. And what brings heaven and earth together? Our heart. What brings Prakriti and Purusha together? Our heart, our soul, our Jiva Atman. That part of us that is immortal.
that part of us that is real, that part of us that is pure, pure love. Breathe, hold, sense, feel, and slowly, slowly, slowly come back down again. Release your head to the same side or the other side if you want to, and just let yourself melt. Okay, you're going to bring your hands back again. You're going to gently push yourself up through Cobra and in onto all fours. Then you're going to take your palms forward. So this is called Anahata Asana, the heart chakra asana. You drop your forehead onto the floor. You squeeze your shoulder blades together and you stick your two sit bones up into the sky. This is a pose that's used in many cultures for praying. It's a complete submission into the earth. It's a complete releasing into the awareness that we are on this beautiful planet for our own growth. That's what it's all about. And every wound, Rumi's most beautiful saying, every wound that we suffer, every pain that we suffer, is an opportunity to allow the light in, to really allow light in, to allow Purusha, the absolute creator, in, the awareness, love. So as you surrender your heart to the experience that we have in this earth plane, we surrender totally. That's the power of this pose. And then slowly come up. Come onto your backs with your knees bent. We're coming into bridge pose. So you're going to keep your bandhas nice and firm, curl your tailbone towards your pubic bone, and lift your belly towards your heart. Scoop your belly and lift your tushy up. Then roll a shoulder blade, interlace your fingers, squeeze your shoulders together, bring your chest towards your chin, lift your perineum, lift your belly down towards your heart. Find your Kriya technique, find your Kriya breath up and down the spine, or down and up the spine actually in this instance. Push your feet into the floor, feel your heart opening, and feel the sense of love. Love is the greatest force in the universe. Love binds us all together. Love is all that there is. Pure unconditional love. And when we love, it is immortal. So feel that breath. Push your palms down, push your arms down. Lift your chest. Push your feet into the earth. Lift up into the unknown, into the known, into the nothing. Lift yourself into the nothing and know there is great power in the nothing. Gate, 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 paramay gate, buddhi swaha. Beyond, beyond, beyond. Oh, what an awakening. Lift your chest. Push your feet down. If it gets too much, come down. Come into a little mini shavasana for a moment. If you can hold it for a little bit longer, hold it, but do use your bandhas. Breathe, long, slow, deep breaths. Down your spine to your crown of your head and up your spine, back up again. And then on your last exhale, slowly release. Drop yourselves down, stretch your legs out, turn your palms up and breathe your breath up and down your spine and just feel your body. Take a moment. We're going to do bridge again. So bend your knees. It's a very powerful pose. Push your feet into the floor. If you want to help yourself and you want to cup your hands under your tushy, bring your elbows together and lift up with your hands, then do that. Otherwise, go back into the regular bridge pose, whichever feels right for you, and hold and breathe. Push your feet into the mat
Lift your chest. Big breaths. Feel the breath. Feel the breath within the breath as you breathe this breath up and down your spine. Feel the golden or the silver thread of energy that comes in, prana, chi, life force, wisdom, knowing that comes in with the breath. Connect deeply to the breath as you breathe. And then slowly release down, one vertebra at a time. Straighten your legs. Take mini shavasana and breathe and feel the breath within the breath. We're going to do one more back bend here, the fish pose. So bend your knees to begin with. Flatten your palms. Bring your thumbs to touch. Bring your fingertips to touch. Palms face down. Then straighten your legs. Come up onto your elbows. And this time you open throat chakra. So you really feel as you lift your chest into the heavens and you drop your crown of your head down. We're not doing anything fancy by lifting the legs or anything. Today is more about what are the poses doing for us rather than challenging ourselves. Really use your bandhas. Now feel your throat chakra open here in this one, which awakens you to space. So in the bridge pose, your throat chakra was pretty closed, giving the nice massage. Here you're opening up to space, to the whole of creation, to the vastness of it all, to the awareness that we are part of this vastness. So that's the power of this pose. Not only opening your heart, but opening your throat as well. And then slowly release down. Release your hands and come into mini shavasana. Take a moment. Feel the power of the poses. So when we do yoga with the awareness that yoga does us, we start to realize that shifts happen within us. And you can't put it into words because it's nothing, but it's everything. So you just can become aware. And that's a soul here. The more awareness. Alright. Bend your left knee and give yourselves a good hug here. Squeeze. Release. And bend your right knee. Hug both knees and roll up to a seated position. Bring yourself to a seated position. Find your two sit bones. Sit nice and tall. Take your, can't mirror you in this one, your left hand into Jnana Mudra. The union of the big self with the little self. The union of Prakriti and Purusha. This awareness of oneness. No beginning, no end, no time, just everything and yet nothing. In the three-dimensional world that we live in. So we can bring ourselves into this union when we balance the left and right brain and we bring our awareness into Nadi Shodhana, into the third eye, where we balance. And this is, again, a Kriya technique taught by Yogananda. One of the ultimate techniques for bringing you into the awareness of your soul and your nature, and bringing your soul and your nature together, your Purusha and your Prakriti. Take two fingers and place them onto Ajna Chakra, your third eye. Feel the energy of Ajna. Ajna allows us the awareness of the whole of creation. It is our psychic chakra that allows us to see the bigger picture. It's the chakra of meditation. Feel your heart chakra as you come into this technique. Drop your ring finger gently on that indentation and your thumb on the indentation as you sit up nice and tall. Now take a lovely long slow inhale through both nostrils from about 20 centimeters or so below your nostrils.
Hold and block both nostrils and turn your gaze into your third eye, into the vastness of creation. Lift your thumb and breathe out your right side. Inhale up your right side. Hold and block and focus and bring all this wisdom, all this knowing into your third eye. Lift your ring and breathe out your left side. Inhale up your left side. That beautiful Ida meridian. Hold, and now you're holding the energy in the center, in the third eye, in Ajna chakra, where you expand, turn your gaze there. Lift the thumb and breathe out the right side. Inhale up the right side. Hold. Focus. Lift the ring and breathe out the left. Continue on your own. Normally when you breathe in your left nostril, you feed the right brain, but now you're feeding Ajna chakra, so you're feeding one eye, one knowing, one awareness. And normally when you breathe up the right side, you feed your left brain. That is why the right side of your body is your masculine and your left brain is your masculine, because of the meridians of Ida and Pingala and the crossing. And that keeps us in duality. So when we transcend left and right hemispheres of our brain and bring all this awareness into Ajna, we come into one awareness. And feel that. Keep going for a few more rounds, balancing, connecting, knowing. Let it take you deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper into the union of you, of your relative self, with your absolute self. Of your Prakriti, with your Purusha. Of Shakti with Shiva. Of something with nothing. And begin to know nothing. Begin to really understand the power of knowing nothing. The all, the absolute. On your last exhale, don't rush it. Release the hand, bring it down into the same mudra, and feel again this union of the self with the self. Yoga is the journey of the self, utilizing the self to discover the self. And the self is the Purusha, and the part of the Purusha that resides within your own individual soul. So the knowing of both creation and creator, the knowing of no beginning and no end, the knowing beyond Maya, illusion, into absolute reality. So take one or two more aware breaths up and down your spine as a final connection to that Kundalini energy of that union of Shiva and Shakti, Shakti and Shiva, creation and creator. And in this realization, you realize that you are one with the trees, with the animals, with the oceans, with the stars, with the universe. We are all just aspects of this beautiful creation, all one, all breathing the same breath. There's only 1% of us that is individual. 99% of us we share with the universe. Breathe, know, feel, and in this knowing, feel an incredible sense of santosha, contentment. An incredible sense of knowing nothing, but finding the power in knowing that.
Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanat Mrichor Mrikshiyam Mamritat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanat Mrichor Mrikshiyam Mamritat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanat Mrichor Mrikshiyam Mamritat. This is the mantra of liberation, the mantra that takes us from the illusion. It's the mantra that destroys the illusion. It takes us beyond suffering, beyond illness, beyond pain, beyond death. Om Namah Shivaya. So feel this transcendence and allow yourselves to go there for a few moments. Breathe. My Jaya mantra is the most powerful of all the mantras, being chanted for thousands of years, to the energy of the destroyer of the illusion that we are separate. Shiva. Shakti joins Shiva in knowing we are one. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanat Mrichor Mrikshiyam Mamritat. I am. Bring your hands into prayer at your heart. Feel the magnificence of your being. Feel the awareness of the bigger picture. Feel the magnificence of you. Feel this moment in time. Bring your heart and your head together by bowing your head to your heart and knowing that love is real, love is immortal, love is the force, love is the breath. And from my heart to each and every one of you, thank you for giving me the honor of being the student and sharing with you the little that I know of nothing. Namaste, everyone.